Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Lifestyle After Fire, the Crypt Keeper edition. I am sitting here with the Crypt Keeper, and she tell us all about her life and stories of mourning as she ventured through the underworld and her career as a funeral director, mortician up north, as I learned.
It's two
You
different
all
things.
will learn all about it.
All about it.
The Crypt Keeper. I can't think of the guy name and Tales from the Crypt.
Oh, I know you're talking. I can see him right now.
Yeah, I'm your moderator of the underworld.
We don't want to see. We don't want to go to the underworld yet.
Well, I'm just moderating. I don't want to go, at least not for another 60 years or so.
Please, but we can. Yeah, we'll call it the under podcast world or something like that.
Okay. These are Crypt Keeper stories, stories of the underworld. I'm the moderator of the stories of the underworld.
So, disclaimer: I will not say names, nor will I say the cities, the states, or the funeral homes I've worked at to keep information confidential. But
Yes.
I got some stories for you.
Some things will be embellished.
Yeah. So it's time to
There's
close.
some truth to the stories, but not every story may or may not be 100% true. This is for entertainment purposes only.
Please. And I made my way through school, so I have graduated, and I have 17 years worth of experience.
That's a lot.
Okay, so let's,
So I'm curious.
yeah,
What infatuated you with death? Was it the first funeral you went to?
no, My Girl. The movie My Girl is what started my.
I've never seen My Girl.
Are you serious? With Veda, and Macaulay Culkin, he gets stung by the bee and he dies.
I don't really watch creepy horror movies or anything
It's
like
not a
that.
horror movie. All right, I have it. Matter of fact, I have it on DVD. I will mail it to you. Do you have a DVD player?
I do not. I have a PlayStation 5.
All right.
Maybe
Well,
that.
I think it's on Netflix. It's on Netflix. Maybe Disney
Okay.
Plus. I don't know. One of those
I'll
streaming
look at
platforms. You have to watch
it.
it.
So that glorified being a funeral director?
So that played a part. Okay. Then my mom was a hospice nurse, and she actually was on the side of pronouncing her patients deceased. So once she pronounced them dead, I would want to go to the funerals with her. So she picked me up from school and she's like, "Hey, sit in the car. I need to go say bye to, Jane or whatever." And I'm like, "Can I go? Can I go?" She's like, "No, Danielle." I'm like, "Please, I just want to see." And then I ended up going to the funerals with her, walking with her to the casket, looking, staring, and sitting with her until the service was over.
So the people be alive, and then she goes knowing that they're gonna die. It's like, hey, goodbye, see you at the crossroads, whatever, kind
Yeah,
of like that deal.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And then they would die, and then she would end up going to the funerals because she was attached to their families. And then the best part was we lived in a neighborhood. We moved into an apartment complex, brand new apartment complex when I was in middle school, right next door to a cemetery across the street. So in
Damn.
in sixth grade, is that sixth grade? Yeah, sixth grade, fifth and sixth grade, as my friends were playing in the community, going swimming, I would walk across this busy street and go to the cemetery and sit on a bench for hours and watch them dig the hole, put the caskets in, watch the families cry. And I was like, I want to be this when I grow up. And mom was like, no, you don't. I'm like, I really do. And she's like, no, you don't. No, but I really, really do.
I'm like a regular Wednesday Adam.
Right. And then I was watching like first 48 wasn't there. 911, Rescue 911, Unsolved Mysteries, all those criminal shows where people were dying and were shot. And then my mom had me see a therapist because she thought I was fucked up. Because she was like, yo, my child is really intrigued with death and like the process of like everything. But I told the therapist, no, this is interesting to me. And then lo and behold, I went to college, fought the idea of being a funeral director. I was like, I don't want people think I was weird. And then put myself through mortuary school and graduated in 2007 with my associates in mortuary science. And when I tell you, I was so excited when I got into mortuary school. You know
Wow,
me, so I'm very extra anyways. Yeah.
that is actually hell. I actually dropped out of regular science in the 10th grade because we had to cut open and dissect cats. I would actually at that time,
We had a pig.
if you went into like if you went into basic
Mhm.
science, you didn't have to do cats or frogs or anything. So I actually went to a lower science and went to
So you didn't
basics.
have to?
Yeah, so I wouldn't have to cut open animals, touch dead animals, and cut
Yeah.
things open and stuff. I don't
Yeah.
even like
I
bugs.
I did
I
the
want,
pig and I was so amazed. And then I went to a medical examiner's back in high school and just everybody was throwing up and I'm like, "Oh my god, that's their heart. Look at their brain. This is cool. I want to do this." And they're like, "Yo, you're weird." I'm like, "It's just interesting to me."
definitely was a calling for you.
It is. It really is. And with my personality, which is not dry, it's not like an average funeral director because they have no personality. They're very dry. I'm bubbly. I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert. I'm not an introvert. I'm an extrovert. But at the funeral home, I have to become an introvert and have to like tone it all the way down. So like I do a spin before I meet a family, and I'm like, funeral director mode. Here we go. And then once I'm out, I'm
It's
back
like
to my little goofy self.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Yeah, you have to. But you have to play again, you have to play with the family, right? So if they're grieving and mourning, you're quiet, you're solid, you're solemn, you're sad. But if they're hype and like, oh yeah, mom went down good, then I adjust to their moods. And you learn that in school. And then, but the problem is you become so desensitized to death. Death does nothing to me. Like, I'm just like, I'm sorry. Is there anything I could do to help you? Like with my mom's death, it was hard for me to grieve because I went into funeral director mode.
Wow, that's tough there.
It is. It is. Like my best friend's mother-in-law just died, and I'm just like, what do I say other than I send my condolences? If you need anything, I'm here for you. You know what I mean? Like, but I can't. I don't know how to grieve. Like, you have to separate life when you meet with your families because if you attach yourself to every emotion, you'll be depressed your whole entire life.
We're kind of like killers and murderers and people that you grew up in the hood. How they get well, not
Yeah,
still
desensitized to
but
murders and
they
killing. Yeah.
desensitized to what's
Mhm.
going on.
Yeah.
Where the average person would tear them up into tears.
Yeah.
Usually, I am good until it's like the song. I don't know what it is. Do they teach y'all
Yeah.
that in director school? You got to play the saddest song or church. It seemed like you gotta cry. If ain't nobody crying, they gonna sing that damn song till there's tears.
Yeah.
At least in the
Yeah.
black church.
And then especially when we close the casket, and like I think that's like the highlight of the for me because I'm like, all right, case is done, move on to the next family. But once you slowly close that casket and having the family members thinking like this last time I'm about to see my loved one, and you're
Yeah.
slowly closing and their hands are helping you close and they're, hysterical and you're like, okay, 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 close, casket spray over, my job is done kind of sort of, and then you back
For
away
you,
and like.
it's a cash register. To everybody else, it's a life of pain.
But actually, I've written off so many funerals because of monies and monies that they don't have, and I'm just like, you know what? I'll write the 10,000 off, or I'll write the $5,000 off. I don't look at it as a paycheck. I look at it as it's my calling to help this family get through the toughest time of their life. And you want to give them the final memories, right? Of this is the last time you're going to see your loved one. So let's go out with a bang, or however you want it. I'm here to implement.
But then I would have that insurance person to talk to them afterwards. Get
You
some
talking about
insurance.
preneed?
We can't be writing the whole family off.
Yeah, yeah. And I've seen fights over insurance policies. I've seen it all.
It's always a lot of talk. Everybody got something to say, and they don't want it this way until they get to your office and it's time to cut that check.
Yep,
Then
yep,
everybody's silent.
yep. Are you sure we don't want to do a cremation? Like the cremation is only 2,000. Mom had an $80,000 policy, $100,000 policy. If we do 2,000, that means we got 98 left. You know what I'm saying? We can split it amongst the four of us. But why? That's 20,000. That leaves us with. I'm like,
How
all
much
right,
is
let
a
me step
how much
away.
is, how much is a cremation?
For us is basic is 3,800 right now, and that's just picking your loved one up in our care and directly doing a direct cremation. You don't get anything out of it. You get a cardboard box, like a little box, like a shoe box that they go in, and there you go.
You got to pay for the urn, and hell, those can be
Yeah, you
expensive.
go on Amazon. You can get an urn for good $40 off Amazon, and I will put the cremains in there. It doesn't hurt my feelings because we upsell everything, right? So our urn, we might get it for 60, and I'm gonna sell it for 120, 130.
You're not gonna try to talk them into it. You don't want your loved one in this type of box or that Amazon. You want them in the best quality with this line and this heavenly lining that's sitting into this
So the
urn.
young Danielle, when I worked for the corporation, I did because you get percentages off of upselling. But now I'm like, I'm not going to. You know what I mean? Like an 18 gauge or 19 gauge casket is this technically kind of the same.
Well, I mean, if they are get do they don't need a casket if they getting
Oh, cremated.
cremated.
Yeah, no, they don't need a casket unless you want to do a visitation before you do the cremation. There are times where families don't want friends to know that they've been cremated, so they'll do a whole visitation, body there. Once the visitation's over, we'll cremate and present the urn. I have my mom in urn. You want to see her?
Sure.
Mom, do you want to come down? No, she's still in the box. I actually have not taken her out of the postal box that she came in. She was mailed to me from Ohio, and
In
actually,
the urn, she was already in the urn.
no, I haven't even placed her in the urn yet. The urn
Oh,
is next to the box because I just haven't had like the courage to do it. But I have. When I came home, she was in a postal box that said cremains in front of my door at the front step. And when I came up the stairs, I'm like, they didn't let me know that they mailed her. And I'm just imagining people that are coming past my apartment like cremated remains, like big stickers that said cremated remains all over the
oh
box.
wow.
Even imagine being the post person, the post
Yeah, the post. Hopefully, they handled it with care.
the see the light.
How much is it to rent a casket though?
So for right now, I think we're 750 to rent. Maybe 565. I think we've gone up though. I think we're up to 750 right now. And it has like a cardboard box inside of it. So they're in that cardboard box. The fabric goes over the box. You would never know that this person was in a cremated box.
No, because like I said, I went to a funeral when my cousin died, and that's what they did. We rented a casket, had a nice little funeral service for
Yeah, it's
him,
expensive.
and then next thing you know, they I guess it's only for a certain amount of hours that you get the casket for.
Yeah. So during the visitation, you get it through for the visitation or the service, and it's usually a wooden oak casket or oak casket that we have. We have about seven of them that we use. We actually have to
Yeah.
put like wood paint over it sometimes when it gets scuffed up a little bit to
Okay,
hide
I
the
mean it looked
blemishes.
regular to me. I guess I'm not around caskets enough. It looked pretty normal to me, but I know they was kind of rushing us toward the end, like let's wrap it up.
Oh yeah, no, it's not no time limit of you like you only got this hotel
Fire
room for
getting
a day.
cold.
No,
Fire getting cold. Y'all need to wrap it up.
we gotta get it. No, but sometimes because you gotta pay for staff, so you have to think about it. If I tell my staff that the service is over 8, you'll be out by 8:45, 9 o'clock, like, and it's already 8:30. They're like, what's going on? So you still have to pay them. So we, you know,
So how
get
do
paid
y'all
right.
handle the drama at the funerals?
When I was younger, I always wanted to be in the front. I wanted to see everything. Now I remove myself. I don't want to be a witness to nothing. I've had fights at the cemetery. I've had a shooting at a cemetery. I've had rich people fighting over banjo and banjo cases. I've had mistresses at weddings. I mean, at the
Mm.
funeral. Mistress at the funeral. I've seen it. I've had siblings. My mom fought her sister at their dad's funeral when I was 12.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Her sister
Dang.
lunged at her, and my mom was never that type, right? But her sister lunged at her half sister. Man, my mom said, hey, hit her with the two pieces. Where do you have that from? She was like, hitting y'all. And I was like, dang, like you knocked her out. And my mom was like, give me the check. And she took the check and walked away. I was like, oh, she a savage.
Dang.
Mm-hmm. And that was another reason. My dad died my granddad died in like 1992. I was born in 84. and I wanted to sit in the very front. My mom was like, "No, you want to sit in the back?" No, I want to sit up front and I want to see him. And like I just like walked up there and like I was just staring, just looking at him.
You know, it's a when I was at my cousin's funeral, it was a little boy that caught my attention because he was infatuated. Because as everybody was going around, as they was trying to wrap it up, and everybody was near the casket, I'd stay usually unless it's somebody I'm really. I mean, I was close to my cousin, but unless it's somebody really, really, I usually keep about a foot distance. But
Hmm.
this one little boy, he was just like right up on the casket, and I mean, he damn near had his head in there, and he just stood there and was just staring,
Hmm.
and I was like, okay, he's another you. He's infatuated with death.
Yeah, it's different. I don't know what it is. It's a
Yeah,
calling. I think it's God play,
yeah, because
put that
everybody
here.
can't do it. Yeah,
And 90, okay, I'm probably hyping this up. 70 to 75% of funeral directors or morticians come from the families. It's been in their
yeah,
family bloodline,
yeah.
generational. Me, it's totally different. Did not know anybody in the mortuary industry, like
That
nobody.
is
I
true.
just wanted to do it. So a lot of people in my class were like, "Oh yeah, my uncle owns this funeral home, or my mom and my dad own this funeral home, or and I'm like, they're like, how'd you get into it? Who are you related to? Nobody. What? Like, no, I wasn't raised around this,
I wonder
but I
what's the
was told.
percentages of blacks that go into being a funeral director.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I think, and I could be
See, look
wrong.
at the
It's just
funeral homes. Uh-huh.
I would think it's a heavier concentration of blacks in the South. I could be wrong
Oh
about that.
yeah, definitely. Definitely. And I think more of Caucasians, whites, are interested in the process. Us, it's like our only choice that we have, right? It's been in
Uh,
our
I don't see many.
three generations.
Yeah, I don't think there's many black morticians up north and out west. I could be wrong.
Um, so I'm thinking out here, DC probably has
DC, yeah,
DC's
but
different, I guess.
DC doesn't really count. But when you start going past DC and you start looking into like Philly, New York, and
Yeah, so
and on
the
up that way,
blacker urban
and
cities.
yeah, and you start
Yeah.
looking out west, Wyoming. Well, definitely, I won't even count Wyoming. But we start looking at like
Oh
California,
yeah,
states like
Utah.
California,
Yeah.
Utah,
Yeah,
maybe a
then
few here or there in Texas, maybe around Houston, Dallas.
yeah, yeah. So you're right.
Now, but now
It's
when you
definitely
start looking at Mississippi,
yeah, the black
Alabama,
urban cities.
Arkansas, yeah, you're gonna find
Yeah.
black morticians there.
So the crazy thing is, or for funeral directors to learn how to embalm going through school, you're usually working on somebody that donated their body to science, okay? And that's normally a white person. We don't donate our body to science.
Mm-mm,
We're not organ donors. We rarely are organ donors.
mm-mm.
So to learn how to embalm on a black person, you actually really literally have to go to a black funeral home or jump on with a funeral home that has a black funeral director to show you. So I had to, after coming out of mortuary school, I had to go intern at a black funeral home just to learn how, you know, to embalm on us.
So what is the difference in embalming a black person from a white person?
Skin pigment, right? It depending on the amount of formaldehyde and fluids that you have to put in, because it just takes a little bit to tint your skin darker to make you look like ET compared to a Caucasian person where you embalm a little lighter.
So you
Yeah,
have to give blacks more.
less,
So blacks get less.
less. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I
a
thought
little
the
bit
opposite
less.
would have been true.
Yeah, a little bit less, because if I embalm too hard, I can make you look like ET and a little ashier.
I've seen that, and the family will talk
Yeah.
about you.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
oh, but I don't make old folks like they used to, but they used to be the old folks used to. Actually, I had uncles and stuff. That's all they lived for was to go to like old deacons and stuff like that.
Mhm.
That's all they lived for was go to a funeral every week. So and
Mhm.
so done died. I'm gonna go on over there to the funeral and say
Yeah,
hi to the family and
yeah.
enjoy the repast.
You
That
enjoy
I
the
mean
repast.
that was their meal ticket. Shoot, we finna go
Yeah.
over there, eat
They
and get
look
the
at
fried chicken.
the newspaper and the obituary section, and they're like, "Susie or Ethel or whatever name you want, Lula pass." Like, "Oh, yeah, we're gonna
Yeah,
go by there and say,
it's a good thing my grandmother
who got
when
the
she was living.
body?"
They all used to look at, yeah, that's who got the body. Yes, they
Who got
did
the
used to
body?
call. And they used to look through the obituaries in the
Uh-huh.
newspaper. Let me see
Yeah,
who done died.
yeah.
And then get on back then they didn't have internet and text and
Mhm,
get on the phone. Let me call so and so and let them
mhm.
know that so and so is dead.
Yeah, yeah. Young and Blue has the body, you know what I'm saying? And always with us, the visitations when? On a
Oh yeah.
Friday night from 5 to 7 or 7 to
Yep.
9. The funeral
Well,
is
it depends on when they died.
that
In
is
their
true. But
race.
either way,
It depends on your race and when you died. Now, you all know if you're black, you die on a Wednesday, your funeral is not gonna be that following Saturday, it's the next
next
Saturday after
Saturday.
that
Yep,
for
yep,
everybody. Then they do or
yep.
Friday, depending on how they can get it. Nowadays, after
Yeah,
COVID, funeral homes is y'all packed up. So you might
yeah,
be have to be Friday,
yeah,
Saturday,
yeah,
maybe even a Sunday.
yeah. Or the
But now
visitation and funeral might have to be the
yeah.
same day,
Yeah, it may not
you
be
know?
one. It'll be just
Yeah.
quiet amongst the family,
Mhm.
the people
We'll leave
that's
the
there.
casket open for an hour, and then we'll start the service.
'Cause, we gotta wait for all our people to come
Yep,
from
to come
around the
in.
world and
Uh-huh. We gotta collect the money.
Detroit and everywhere else, and then they got to get there, and they got to figure out where everybody gonna stay and who house is open
Mhm.
and got room
Who
for them
cooking?
and who gonna feed them.
Who gonna
Yeah.
feed them? Yep, who cooking?
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
a mess.
We
Now
gotta
if
get
you
the
was
colors and the shirts printed out.
oh, yeah.
We gotta do the obituary. I have a
Oh, yeah.
collection of funeral flyers or whatever you wanna call it underneath my TV.
That used to be an art within itself. Who did the obituary?
Who wrote it? Mhm.
Yeah, who wrote it? Now, I mean,
And
you
who
got
you left
social
who
media.
out?
Oh, yeah. That'll get your ass whooped.
Yes.
I've seen a lot of
Luck
stuff started. Oh, so and so
luckily
didn't put us in now. Make
time.
sure you get everybody.
Uh-huh.
I mean, because that's taken as a straight offense and
Oh, yeah.
unforgivable
Yeah.
if you leave somebody's name off that
Yeah.
obituary.
And I damn sure don't wanna be the special friend. You know how many times I've seen he leaves behind or she leaves behind her special friend, blah, 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 of many years and blah, blah, and I'm like, "Oh,
Actually, actually, I went to my godmother's funeral and they had me as a godson, which
okay."
and they had my mother as the special friend of many years. I was like, okay, that's different. I hadn't seen that.
Mhm. It means
Paul.
he never put a ring on it, so, you ain't the wife. You're a special friend.
Oh, yeah, and
You
that
came to all the barbecues, you went, Christmas and all the other stuff. You just, you know, I don't wanna get married,
oh,
but
that special friend. Oh, my
yeah,
mother
that
was
special
that did.
friend.
There you got me. No, yeah, no. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, that can be tricky.
so I told you about my friend that died a few months ago, right?
Mhm.
Of the cancer, young guy. And he was single, but he was talking to many people, including me at one point. Every single one of them girls were there hugging the mom, and she's like, Danielle, you want to sit with me? I'm like, I don't want no attention on me. I'm not no special friend. Like, we didn't make it that far. But one girl was like, yeah, me and James are dating. We've been dating for 6 months. The other girl was like, for real? And I was with him for 8 months. Oh my
Uh-oh.
God, he played. And I was like, oh,
Ooh, go
interesting.
downhill from there.
But
That's a
he's
lot of special.
single. You know what I'm saying? So
That
I
don't
don't know if
mean
he wanted.
nothing, but if he didn't tell them that, that's a lot of special friend to special friend X, Y, Z, D.
He,
That's when you get volunteer pallbearers. I help put him in the ground and drop his ass. That's another
oops.
thing. What is the deal with the damn pallbearers? Where did that come from?
I learned this in school. I don't remember, actually, to tell you the
I
truth.
don't understand why in the hell
To
I didn't
help,
drop you. I didn't drop you $10,000. Why the hell I got to help out?
it's an honor though to be a
No,
pallbearer.
but there's a thing. They got two of them. There's an honorary pallbearer, which I don't understand that, and then there is actual pallbearers.
Okay, so the term pallbearer comes from the word pall, which historically is the heavy cloth that is draped over a coffin and a person that would carry it. So it started in Rome.
But nowadays we ain't carrying no cloth. You carrying a casket.
So how else you gonna get it? I can't carry it by myself.
Shit, you better break that ten
Should
thousand
we
dollars and hire you
create?
some help. You better
Should
go
we
by
create
home.
like
Huh?
Kendrick? Should we create like this mobile, like motorized, like
AI or
Paul Bearer assistant? Like you put the casket
something.
on it, and then we have the remote, and we just like, and then drive it
It
to
works
the
well until that thing hit a hump or something going downhill and flip
yeah
past the bike
cemetery.
or something over. Did you see
Oh,
that
that
on
might be
social
a
media?
good idea. Cause you
Yeah,
know
I'm
what?
like,
That's too heavy. It's heavy. There's plenty of
yeah.
times where I've had six, three on each side, and then
Mhm.
three on each side, and one man is like, "Oh my god, this is heavy," and I usually go behind the casket. I've had to lift it up with them and help carry it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
one thing for sure, two things for certain. I'm not about to break my back for this dead person. Like, we one, two, three, we're lowered down to the ground.
I was an active pallbearer for the first time ever,
Uh-huh.
and
Was it heavy?
we were rolling the body out of the church and everything was going great. I'm like, okay, cool. And she was really light, so it was like maybe 120 pounds, whatever. But we got time to lift. We had to lift it up to put it in the back of the hearse. I'm like, ooh, this shit is heavy. I could
Mhm.
imagine a 300-400 pound person in a
Oh
casket.
yeah.
I'm like, ooh, oh, I
No, we
can't do this.
wouldn't. We would put it and we would put it on the wagon, and you just have to like pull. And then it's if you have a hilly cemetery and
Oh
a
hell no.
distance, oh, I'm just like, I don't know what we about to do. We need some magic powers to get
My
this thing
brother's
over
pretty
here.
damn strong that I be seeing on social media. They be holding the casket over their head and
Oh
dancing with
yeah,
it
and
on their
lifting it and all
shoulders
that
and
stuff.
shit and doing all that other stuff.
No, not on
Yeah,
my watch. We will not be
I
doing
ain't
that.
doing that. They
No.
that special
Somebody
Paul bears.
asked, and I was like, no, we're not doing that because it takes one person to slip, twist the ankle, and that thing goes down, and the casket fall. You know what I'm saying? And now, how are you going to explain that? No, normal, or we're not going.
Well, that's New Orleans. You got to be somewhere down there for that.
And that's an interesting. I went out there and watched one, and I was like, oh, this is cool. You know, in
Shit,
the mausoleum.
you gotta hire a whole damn band to be out there.
You go in solemn, you come out partying.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
I need to be
it's
buried.
interesting.
They
Huh?
don't bury people in those what they call them sharpshooters anymore, where it's like the octagon type casket,
Oh yeah, yeah,
the wooden ones or whatever.
yeah, yeah. I haven't really gotten too much into it. We've seen the acrylic ones now that are see through, and I just can't rock with it, which is why we didn't add it to our catalog of something to sell. It's not. Now, if you bring your own casket and you want us to do it, we'll do it. But I
You
don't.
bring your own casket.
You can bring your own casket. You can get caskets off of Walmart. I've had caskets delivered to the funeral home. I take no responsibility. If anything is broke, that's you. If it doesn't lock, that's your like you got to figure that out.
I mean, what the hell you
Because
need a lock for?
you gotta lock it so they can't get out. You gotta lock them in.
If they were dead, after if they can get out of that casket after you embalm them, I don't think a lock gonna hold them down if they won't out.
The thriller coming out like
That's kind of like the gates to heaven. I never understood that shit. If you can make it to heaven from earth, living, I don't
if
think a gate gonna stop you at that point.
if somebody wakes up on my table, like I've read that it's happened, like they weren't, the one in the story that we read where she was deceased and all of a sudden she woke up. You've
Mhm.
taken everything. You can have the funeral home. You can have the hearse. You can have my degrees. Like I'm done. I don't want to see another body in my entire life. I'm good.
Have you ever had a body set up on you? I heard that's
No,
coming.
I have never,
I've
ever.
heard people hit bumps and say bodies have rose
Yeah,
up
no,
and set up on them with
no.
reflexes and stuff.
You hear them gurgle like once you pick them up, like after being dead. But they're like recently passing away. But that's their body relaxing. They poop on themselves. They lose their bowels. You hear them go.
Y'all put diapers on them once you pick them up.
Uh-huh. I've had to. We put them on them because they leak once we embalm. Sometimes they get dirty. They poop on themselves. So you have to clean them up. You have to give them a bath, basically. Not in a bathtub, but you have to clean the body off.
Hose them down,
Hmm. Yeah, on the gurney. Yeah.
dude. So then I see. Well, you have to do the hair.
So at my funeral home, again, we're Caucasian. It's easy. Bump it a little bit, comb it back a little bit, do like a little, bob or whatever they want, and we move on with our day. Susan looks good. All right. Unless they have a request, they can bring their own beautician in and they can do whatever they want.
But then what about the guys? Y'all cut the hair and stuff? Or no.
We wash it. We wash it, and then comb it back. Most comb back a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
but laying down, we just kind of like, you know.
Shit, not in the black funeral.
But let me
I
tell
might be
you.
doing full
Oh yeah,
sew-ins and braids and
swollen,
everything
nails
else.
done. Yes, absolutely.
Got your haircut.
Eyelashes added.
Barbers, you gotta be edged up
Edged up. Your hair still grows. Your nails still grow for
because
years after.
one barber I talked to, I think he was at that time, that was before COVID. He was saying he charged 150.
For a dead birdie, dead birdie, a dead body.
Yeah, for a dead body cut.
That sounds about right. They're dead.
Like probably 200 or so more now.
hmm Yeah, it sounds about right.
I'm
I
like, damn,
would.
that's a good hustle if you can do it.
Yeah, but that's not. They're dead. Not a lot of people want to touch a dead body.
I mean, I wonder how you do
American.
that. I mean, how do you do that? Do you sit them up or whatever and be like, yo, prop them up for me?
No, we have like a it's like a wedge. You put their head up underneath the wedge, and you just do it that way.
I mean, you have to wedge them up to get up under there and
No,
line it up.
it
How you gonna
lines up
fade
underneath their neck,
fade?
and you wedge it
I
up.
mean, but how you gonna fade him up in the back? Like, I mean,
Have I
lead him up.
ever?
Be
I
like, I need to fade
have
him up in the
one
back.
time lifted and held a person up while the beautician, the hairdresser, actually finished her hair, and I laid her back down.
Like, damn, you fade him up and then hand him a mirror. That look all right.
Like we get at Bernie's.
Yeah, and that look all right to you. You good with that?
Yeah,
All
we
right,
good. We
bet.
good. I'm ready. I'm casket ready. Let's go.
Yeah, you sharp
You
with that
shot. You
deal.
casket shot. Now let me put this suit on you real quick.
Now you gotta look at what the funerals is changing. Now, hell, they having funerals at the club with the bodies propped up
Oh
in
yeah.
chairs and VIP and everything now, and
Yeah, that is
got them
so
sitting in
weird.
cars and on motorcycles and stuff.
Motorcycles, yeah, that's weird. It's just different to me. I don't know. I don't like people taking pictures of body in the casket. I just think that's disrespectful. I don't like caskets I don't like bodies on social media. I don't think you should put pictures on Facebook. Like you have family members that are still grieving. They don't want to go and see a picture of their loved one in a casket. Like I just think it's just weird. And I've shut
It is
down,
weird to me.
huh?
Yeah, it is weird, but hell, I was on social media the other day and they had a funeral on social media. I mean, I guess at least get the family's permission. Don't just
Yeah,
put it upon
yeah.
yourself.
So normally with the funeral now with technology and since COVID, you can automatically stream to Facebook Live. I don't like streaming because some people, are searching on Facebook and it pops up. But Zoom will go to YouTube, will go to any kind of platforms that you want it on. I just think it's weird to have it going live on Facebook, unless it's from a funeral home page where you have to click
Mhm,
on the funeral home and see it.
mhm.
But just like me going live on my page and I have coworkers like, oh yeah, some people are superstitious. They don't want to see anything dealing with death. They don't want to see a funeral home. They don't want to, you know what I mean? And I don't want to put anybody, it can be traumatizing. So I just don't go live on my personal page, what we do on the funeral home all the time.
Now, when you cremate a body, is it just heat the body up and cut the fire off, and what's left there you just sweep up?
Yes, you sweep up, but there's a drawer, like a drawer in the middle of the retort, and you
Uh,
sweep the cremains or move the let me say it professionally, move the cremains into the center and it drops into a basket, and then that's where we take care of making sure that it's ready for the loved one, and then it gets a tag number where you have to record it with like 012 would be Jane Doe, and then we have to record it in our books if we're ever audited. Yeah.
wow.
You ever seen ashes before?
I don't think I have.
Okay, when we get offline I'll show you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'll show you.
most of the people I know are plopped in the ground.
Yeah. So I don't know if I ever if so I'm confused if I want to be in the ground or if I want to be cremated. I feel like being in the ground, people are going to leave me and they're not going to visit me, right? And then being in the urn, I'm like, I'll just go wherever they go. You know what I mean? Like whenever I move, I gotta take my mom. But I just don't. But then, do I want to be on fire? Right? Do I want to be? I think it's like 1500, 1700, 1500. I don't cremate, but you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what I want. And we're running out of spaces for cemeteries. In no time, like what are we gonna do?
Uh, evict some people.
So take so disinter them,
Hey, you've been dead long enough. It's time to go.
and what are we gonna do with the body?
Ain't it like is that a myth? What you only guarantee for 100 years in the ground?
Yeah, but you still bones.
So I mean, is it legal? Or hey, after 100 years, they can dig you up and throw you out. Your
I
100 years
is
in the
anybody
ground
ever
is.
is there anybody that's around to tell the story? Because after
I
100
mean,
years,
I don't know if you got a good family that's got generations that's going through there and coming to see you. I mean,
hmm,
it could be. I guess maybe they didn't pay attention to that. I know with like my great grandmother, a lot of times when I'm home in Arkansas, you have to pay attention. I always pay attention because she's near my grandfather.
hmm,
But it's been a couple of times I didn't went home and grass because she had what did they call it? Uh, I call it all a tombstone. What they call it? ID plate, I guess, with its
headstone,
low. Yeah. Oh,
headstone,
that's a headstone. Okay.
hmm,
Oh, so there's a difference between a
a
headstone and a
marker. It
tombstone.
can be a
A
marker. It
marker,
can be a
yeah,
headstone.
whatever. But it's been times where it's like, oh, what the hell?
They haven't
Grass
taken over.
growing
Yeah.
over it, and you can't hardly see it. And then it's like, hey, I call, get on the phone. Somebody need to come get this in there. So I
So
guess,
they don't have groundskeepers that can maintain the cemetery?
well, maybe that's the trick. That's how they find out. If you mess around there and you let grass grow over your loved
Maybe
one's
too long.
mark or tombstone or whatever, where it just starts to sink and go down in the ground more and the grass cover it and nobody is called and it's fully covered,
Then
well,
they
then they
stop
know
and
they
go.
got a good one.
I don't
They get
know.
lost, never found.
I don't know. So now there's cemeteries where you do double burials, right? Especially the families that don't have that much money. You have two in one gravesite. And so the first person goes on the bottom, they close that. And then the top one is for sale. And then you might come around and say, hey, I need, only got $1,000. They're like, well, you can get apartment B. You can be on the top floor.
Dang.
And then you would get that part. And then there'll be like to the left might be the one that was buried first. And
I
then the right
mean,
might be the top one, like a bunk bed.
if we run out of room, and maybe storage units. Be like storage, where you got these
It's
big
so
buildings
cool.
with there's bodies in there in the wall.
I got to start thinking about ways. I must start thinking about ways because I feel like we're running out of space. We're running out of cemeteries. And it's just really good for Earth. You know what I'm saying? Like,
What's really good for Earth is to not have anything and to just throw the body in the ground.
yeah, but we have vaults,
Vaults is not
especially
good for Earth. Vaults is not good for Earth.
especially in the state of Florida because we're below sea level.
Yeah, Arkansas does vaults too.
Mhm.
But
Here
yeah,
we do vaults here in Maryland, except the Jewish cemeteries. They don't use vaults. They go right into the ground with the wood caskets or the pine caskets. Sorry.
yeah, that's what's eco friendly right there is the
Yeah,
pine.
you go out.
Drop
Yeah,
you in there
you
and
get
down in
grounded.
there, or like some of those other countries where when they have like mass graves, they
Burial.
dig big
Mhm.
holes and just dump everybody in there.
But they have new burials. Like they have green, eco-friendly burials now. Actually, I'm about to go to a training in about a couple weeks, to learn about it. Like to make you like a compost. Throw your, the daisies that you put in front of your yard. That could be whoever your loved one has turned into a compost. It's natural burial, which I sent you videos, and I'm really interested in that. I'm like, but then again, that's weird. You putting a body on top of I don't know, bark, whatever, and they naturally decompose, and then you turn into compost, and then they give
So,
you these like
so
8-pound bags.
so what do they decomposing the body and giving it to you to plant?
hmm I don't know the process from the time you decompose until the time they give you the bag. I don't know how that works. I want to go and study that.
I was telling you, they were taking tables now. Remember, I don't know if I seen that video where they had grandma buried in a table.
No.
Yeah, it was on social media. I don't know. It might have been a spook, but they had it was like a table, a living room table, and like the whole family was sitting around, and like grandma was like in the table, like a glass big table, whatever, and grandma was
Her
sealed in
body
the
was in there?
table. Yeah,
Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
yeah, grandma preserved in there.
Ain't no way. As you're sitting around the table, she's just laying there looking at you.
Yeah,
No,
that's the way to take
absolutely not.
grandma with you everywhere you go.
No, absolutely not. You imagine walking in the dark and you turn the light on and she's just like laying there and she's like, "Hey, what up? I'm about to have coffee. Sit here."
The biggest part is you turn the light on and she ain't there.
Where grandma
That's
at? She went to the
oh
bathroom.
shit.
She in the bathroom. she, she,
That's a way to
she.
get rid of people dating when you come in and what the hell
Oh,
is
you
that?
want to hear a funny freaking story? So in Orlando, as I was working at the funeral home, anytime a casket was dented, we couldn't sell to
Mhm.
the families, they would throw them out. But I was like, I want them, so I started keeping them and collecting them in my garage because I would run into family members or I'd run into people that I knew that couldn't afford a casket. So I'd be like, hey, listen, come to my house. I got about 12. Just pick one, and I'll have it
Oh,
delivered.
shit.
I'll bring the
You
hearse
are
and
a
I'll
real
just
crypt
deliver it.
keeper.
Huh?
I said you are a real crypt keeper.
Yeah, because I was like, people can use these. Beggars can't be choosers. You either A, gonna take this casket or you gonna buy yours. So I would give them out. So I was dating during the
You
time of
you
the
know
guy that
how
I was
we are.
with for
We
9 years.
prideful.
Yeah, we are, but come
So
on now.
what? He
You
walks in.
either no. So I
So
was
guy
talking
comes
to
in and
him.
sees 12 caskets.
No, that's not it yet. So
Okay.
we were dating, and I was like, "Oh, this is my house," da da da. I said, "But let me tell you something. Out my garage, I can't park my car in there." He was like, "Why?" I was like, "Let me show you." So I turned the light on. He's like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "Yeah, fuck around and find out. If you fuck with me, you gonna be in one of these." He's like, "Yo, bitch, you crazy." I was like, "No, seriously though. They all have like the interior. They're all sitting on like I got these shelving, and they were literally 3 high, and they were on both sides of my casket or both sides of my garage and in the front. I was like, I literally we're giving them away. All
Got a
different
hot
pink,
casket sale.
blue, metal, huh?
You got a hot casket sale.
Yeah. Like, can you imagine being my neighbor and be like, yo, this lady keeps coming out with caskets. I used to park the hearse in the driveway. Now I got caskets in my hey, casket sale. Come on, get these for 250. Come on. Yeah, I need room for more.
So did you get rid of all of them?
I'm down to like 3, and then I put them in storage when I moved here. So like my friends, if they say, "Hey, I need some," I'm like, just go to the storage unit and give it to them. But yeah, I'm down to 3.
They better get some
Hey,
insurance. Aren't you kind of good Samaritan?
yeah. So if anybody listening, you need a casket, and you're in the Orlando area, I got you. Hit me up, Casket Girl 427 on Instagram. No, I'm just joking.
I can imagine that is hell on a relationship.
Oh, people do not. Yeah, no. Or when I was dating him, I'd be like, "I'm hungry. Can you bring food to the funeral home?" Hell no, D. I'm like, just drop it off. Like, I'll come outside. Come on, I'm hungry. Just pull in the parking lot. I'll come outside. Hell no, you've been touching bodies. You'll figure it out when you get off. I'm like, oh my goodness. The one time he came in, I set him up, and I made sure one of my friends brought a casket around the corner. I will call him right now. He's like, I freaking flipped. He was like, what the fuck is going on here? I was like, I call him right now. Like, Troy, tell him about the time you're in the parking lot and you came inside. He was like, damn, you fucking with me. And I'm like, I'm not. Like, there's not going to be anybody in here. Just come into the lobby. I was like, hey, push this casket from the lobby around the corner, but go through the lobby and go into the chapel that way. And she was like, why? I was like, just so I can get Troy. She did. There was nobody in it, but we did it on purpose. And he jumped up so fast.
You can't play with people's
He
emotions
jumped
and
up
stuff.
so fast and
That's
left
like
and ran
playing with
out.
snakes. You can't do people like that.
Well, I mean, we're in a funeral home. What do you expect to see?
Not
What
about
would
you
you
know.
run to?
Yeah, well, I've gotten a little better now that I'm older, and I've
Hmm.
been around you. But I used to have this suspicion when I was young. Even when I would go to the hospital, I was always afraid when like if I was at the hospital by myself, I was always afraid of hitting the wrong button and going to
Yeah,
the morgue.
yeah.
I actually was at the VA hospital when I was in Georgia, and it was actually had it written on the elevator for you
Hmm.
downstairs is the morgue. Like, oh, don't want to go there.
Yeah, yeah. It's during COVID, it was like shopping for the purse that you wanted. We would get a call at one of the hospitals here, and we would go to the hospital, and I mean, we're suited down, right?
Oh
Because
yeah.
of COVID. And they're like, all right, she should be on the third shelf to the right. And there's so many people in there. We're like, okay, look at the ankle. All right, nope, that's not her. Zip up the like on the bag, look at her arm. That's not her. Oh, here she is right here. All right, we got her. And like
Oh,
we would have to like move people around just to get the person. It was so bad. It was so bad. And I'm like, how do y'all keep up with this? Like there's 50 people in one cooler, and you have funeral homes just lined up trying to get the next person. Who are you looking for? I'm looking for Jane Doe. Oh, she's right here. I saw her. I just saw her name tag. You want me to help you? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Come and help me.
so once they are embalmed, they don't need ice. I take it.
Mm-mm, you're good. We might, depending on when their service is, put them in our a walk-in cooler. But normally, by the time we embalm them, their service is probably within the next couple of days. But if we're busy, we'll embalm them and put them in the cooler, depending on how long it was. Like Arlington National Cemetery used to be very backed up during COVID, so we had
Hmm.
options. We were going to temporary bury them. The family would buy a plot, temporary bury them, and then it was like 6 month wait to a year, and then disinter them and then take them to Arlington, or we've embalmed somebody and left them on the top shelf for a few months until it was time for them to take.
Yeah. So would you temporarily bury them, then pull them up and take them to Arlington? For what
And
you
now
just
you have
have
a
the
cemetery,
funeral? So you have the funeral, then bury them, and then take them up
mhm,
and
and then do
okay,
the honors.
dang.
That black family had money because I was like, "You're gonna do what?" They're like, "We'll just bury him at whatever cemetery it was in Maryland." And then by the time their service was ready at Arlington, we disinterred them, took them to the cemetery, and then buried them at Arlington. And so now she has a plot that she had to pay
Wow,
for opening and closing.
dang.
And so she was like, "I'll keep that one." I was like, "But you'll be away from your husband." She's like, "Well, it could be for somebody else." I'm like, "You get honored. I mean, you can be
Maybe
buried."
that's what she wanted to do. Get away. It's my escape. I lived so many years
I
up
was with him
north.
50 years. I ain't gonna be buried next to him. I'll keep this one right here. Listen, we're in the same. We're not even in the same city because he's in Virginia, she's in Maryland. We're far enough, right?
Exactly.
Only you.
I didn't even know spouses could be buried in Arlington.
So it
Arlington.
depends on the. I think it depends on the rank of the person. The rank. He was like a 1 star,
Oh
but
yeah,
yeah.
you're low rank, and oh nah, ain't nobody going here with you. You lucky to have your plot.
I actually put a reef on is Colin Powell buried there in Arlington? One
Probably, I
of
would
the
imagine.
generals, I think he is, because we put on every Christmas we put reefs on. Yep, he is. We put reefs the on the tombstones, the markers, and we did go by his. And I kind of like I was like,
Yeah, I
oh,
would
I'm gonna put
imagine he
this.
would be.
Yeah, he's there. My dad said he wants to be buried there.
I don't want to be buried near the military.
No, it's free.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, being and no disrespect to the veterans. I just see it as like a project. It's like I'm just there amongst thousands and thousands
Yeah,
and
you are.
mm.
You are. But it's an honor to be buried there. It really is. Have you been there?
Mm-hmm.
Arlington National Cemetery? Yeah. But it's like, even as a funeral home, you have to line up and it's like fast. All right, it's your turn. Come on, follow us.
Yeah, like I
Go.
said, I want
Yeah.
you to take your time with me. I want
Yeah.
the family to be able to put flowers, even though you know my children probably won't come put flowers on it, but the option is there.
It would. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let me or I'll tell you a story. Let me think of a good story I could tell.
You
Hmm.
got 8 minutes.
Now we'll start a story on another episode.
Oh yeah, got great questions I want to ask.
You want to ask one question? or do you want to talk about the criteria or the curriculum of being a funeral director?
Yeah, what is the curriculum?
So it depends on your state that you're in. So I got licensed in Florida. So I went to St. Pete's College in St. Petersburg, and I already had my bachelor's in at the time. So I probably had to take, I think, 14 to 15, about 12 classes: funeral science, funeral history, embalming 1, embalming 2, restorative arts 1 and 2, funeral law, and things like that. And then you have to take your national boards, right? And you have to
Hmm.
take your Florida state of rules and regulations. And those are the two that you have to pass. But the national is a written test and a hands-on. So long story short, but now since I've been out, Florida now has a, don't quote me, but a funeral planner. So now you don't have to be an embalmer. You can just be a funeral director and just make all the funeral. You can be like an event planner for funerals. Be with the
Wow.
families and bring it to life.
Yeah,
Then
that's
you don't have to
that's
touch
good money there.
and you don't have to touch the deceased. You get somebody else to embalm them, and
Keep
you
them
just
from fighting.
yeah, you could be like all right, you create the flyers and do the videos and be there, but you just can't embalm. I don't know what those requirements are, but those are new. But yeah, it's fun. In our class, we started with maybe 40, and by the time we graduated, there was 10 because people keep they don't
Yeah.
think that you have to touch a body. I remember a girl was like, "Oh my God, she's dead." I'm like, "Yes. What do you think you have to do?" "Oh, I didn't think I have to touch her." I'm like, "You're in mortuary. Like, make it make sense."
Do you get invited to the repasses?
Do I? Yes, all the freaking time, all the time. "Do you want to come to the repast?" "Nope, I'm going back to work. I got to go to finish something." All the
Got
time.
another one. Bring me a piece of
Unless it's at
chicken.
the funeral home. Unless it's at the funeral home, they might be like, "You want a plate?" And in my head, I'm like, "Who cooked?" But normally in our funeral home, we get it catered, and then they'll be like, "Yeah, just grab a plate," and then I'll kind of like scurry off back to doing some work.
Oh my god, I had the worst repass ever.
Oh, you did tell me when you went to Arkansas for that funeral.
No, that one was good. It was another one. I won't put them out there because these people they'll know exact. Some people know exactly what I'm talking about. In the next episode, I actually have footage of some of that. Yeah. So
The
we
food was
start our
bad.
next in the next series. We will go into that repass. Oh yeah, it was downright awful
Yeah.
and hilarious at the same time. And I was hungry.
So what'd you do?
I didn't eat
Just
that
put it
shit. I
into a
dumped
napkin.
it and got some chicken wings.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one lesson if for people at repass,
If you can't
there's
cook,
nothing wrong with buying Walmart or your favorite grocery
Publix
store
chicken.
fried chicken, Bojangles, KFC,
Popeyes.
well, even churches, Popeyes, whatever. Bring the family a box of chicken, or if you're a church or whatever, and you know Aunt Sally can't cook worth a damn, go buy some chicken. Take something out of the budget, buy some chicken. At best, you can do your own homemade dishes, but put some chicken there for some people that may not find your thing
Your food
delicious.
appease.
And it may be a delicious meal, but just not everybody gonna find it delicious. So have a breast and a wing and maybe a leg and a thigh for those that eat dark meat. Have it ready for them, and some fruit punch and some liquor.
You're so fruit punch.
Yeah, I was expecting chicken, and yeah, I didn't get that. Not one piece, not
I've
there.
never had bad food at a repast, but I normally leave. I don't go to repasts. Mm-mm, I'm out. Unless it's
Yeah,
family.
play yourself.
Unless it's family members, I might go.
Yeah.
But other than that, I ain't trying to mingle. Like we're
I
grieving.
said some family can't cook.
Yeah, no. I know. Especially when that aunt say, "I'm getting in here to make the potato salad." No, you're not. I be praying that she be like, "Please don't feel good today. Go to sleep out. Don't even waste your time."
That's another thing we need to talk. And the next thing we need to talk about it because what is it with black funerals and the repast? But you got that auntie, grandmama, and even on the holiday, not even just funerals, holidays where she always jump up and cook, being be the first one to complain that she didn't feel like cooking. I
Uh-huh.
don't feel like cooking. I'm
Uh-huh.
tired. I didn't worked all day and all that. Oh,
Mhm.
don't worry about it. Nah, I'm gonna go ahead and cook it this time. But
Mhm.
then she want to cook. Everybody come over here and eat out there. I didn't sit there and I didn't cooked all day.
Ain't nobody help pay for the stuff and
Yeah,
put the ingredients. Y'all ain't go to the store to go help me get it. Mhm.
yeah. But
Mhm.
she won't never stop cooking. Every
Mhm.
funeral,
Mhm.
every holiday,
Mhm.
she gonna do it.
Yep. And complain every single time. Luckily, I don't have that many funerals. We haven't had that many families. Yes, we have, but not a lot. That's died in our family, or we had to go do repasses
That's
a lot.
good.
Yeah, we did in 2018, 2019, and 2020. But our family's smart. They had the food catered. Ain't nobody cooking. So next episode, let's talk about a crazy time as a funeral director, and
Well, that's right.
then one of my crazy moments. I got a good story for you guys
Well, we'll see y'all on the next series.
of
Check us
cryptid
out.